and welcome to today's live at the waterhole. We are starting today here at Tau Game Lodge in Madikwe. My name is Kelly and I'm going to be with you for the next couple of hours. Please remember we are live and interactive. Please send your questions through to wildearth.tv/questions, or you can scan the QR code on your screens. My favourite part of these shows is hearing where everyone is, getting all your questions, and I would love for you to join the conversation on X using #WildEarth, or again scan the QR code on your screens. You're also welcome to send your questions and comments through on WhatsApp on +27 786 302 336. Ooh, this impala got a fright there by the looks of it, but a beautiful start to the show with two lovely big elephant bulls, looks like. A little group of impalas with their ever watchful male present. And a little group of wildebeest as well. Always a pleasure to be here at Tau Game Lodge. Looks like these boys have decided it's time for a Sunday dust bath. I would love to go across to Aldonio. We seem to have a big tusker. Maybe 1 ton, but let's go across to Aldonio. Hi zebras. And we will see who we've got across there at the pan at Aldonio. I would assume that is the 1 ton. I'm not aware of another elephant. That would be insane if there was indeed another elephant with tusks like this. Again, we have a beautiful collection of big bulls here. Mr. 1 ton is again present. Again, these zebras look very thirsty. I would most definitely not be trying to sneak in there with that elephant tonnage present. But you got to do what you got to do, I guess. Beautiful view of a zebra butt and an elephant butt. My tracker once suggested that we should make an elephant butts of Africa, an elephant butts of Africa book, and just put images of all the different animals' bottoms in it. I think that would be a brilliant idea because we do spend them. Often they are departing into the distance. Hello, Journey with me. Good morning from the USA. Good afternoon from South Africa. Thank you so much for joining us, Journey with me. You are very, very welcome. Thanks for joining the chat. Makes all the difference to us. Deb Davis. Hi, how are you doing, Deb? Thank you for joining us from Pennsylvania, again in the US. Always a pleasure. Please do hop onto those chats. It makes all the difference to these shows, having very insightful questions, many of which I do not know the answer to. I most definitely do not know even a smidge of everything, in my opinion. Melanistic marble, yes, you have confirmed that is indeed 1 ton. magnificent specimen of an elephant bull there. Sandy Franklin 69, good morning. How are you doing, Sandy Franklin? Thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure. I'm still waiting for the return. I'm going to be carrying that incident for quite some time. The incident we had with Mr. One Ton and Floppy Ear on Thursday, Friday. I've lost track a little bit now. Bump from One Ton on that floppy-eared male. The rest of the bulls sort of gave way to Mr. Floppy Ear, and One Ton did not. It wasn't particularly insightful or exciting or extravagant. He just didn't move. And then when Mr. Floppy Ear got close enough to ask him to move again, Mr. One Ton said no, and it was a good hard smack. We thought there had been some possible injury there, but I think it was probably just a good hard smack with those incredible tusks. Some kind of melon. One Ton must be getting an appearance fee the amount of times he shows up this week compared to usual. And maybe he is. If he is, I'm not aware of it. But absolutely, I support this, the amount of times he has been showing up. It does fascinate me, you know, what may have changed in an animal's life to change their behaviour. He hasn't been around, now he's around. Someone did actually say he'd lost a bit of condition recently, so maybe this is a safe space for him. Maybe he normally spends time off on his own, but if he's lost a bit of condition, he feels happier, associating more closely with his crew. Yeah, who knows?
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
The Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
Accustomed to this, it could be that one side of his neck is stronger than the other. But yeah, but he would have had to deal with it basically. I haven't seen that floppy-eared male again. Maybe he's not normally part of this crew, hence he didn't really know how to behave appropriately. Maybe he's that one friend that sometimes joins gatherings and isn't always welcomed, and then someone will politely say, unless you behave, you're going to have to join a different group. Because I haven't seen him here since that incident. It is his, so if you were, I never know whether or not to call ears left or right, or tusks left or right. If you were sitting on him, the floppy-eared elephant, it would be his left ear. So right ear as you were looking at him. Sandy Franklin 69. Indeed, I will be back again tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last of my little runs for a while, but I will be around quite a lot next month, so you can all start gathering your questions. And you're stuck with me quite a lot in July. It's nice though doing this sort of regularly. It's not getting used to the movements of the animals. I'm going to be watching again for this floppy-eared male for forever, probably, because I'm super interested to see how that relationship develops or does not develop. If indeed he was a this zebra, we can't see. Yeah, this zebra kicking up lots of dust. This is a big group again, but this, it tells, the amount of zebra it tells me that I'm not going to lie, I've never been to Kenya. I don't know the topography or the layout really of Oldonyo. And where else there is water. We often base many things in the bush if we are tracking animals or looking for animals or trying to predict movements. One of the first things we often consider is where's the nearest water. And when you are operating in an area on a regular basis, you know where all the pans are, you know when a pan has dried up, you're there regularly. You know if you see a pan that's nearly dry and you go on leave for 2 weeks, that by the time you get back, if it's not pumped, it's probably going to be dry, so the animals are going to start using a different water source. And the numbers of zebra we've been seeing here, and the way these zebra and indeed that giraffe have been braving this. What's going on here? Why is he back to a little bit there? The way the rest of these animals are. Is this going to be floppy ear coming now? So that isn't floppy ear. Oh, that is him. Yeah, so that is the one that one time fell out with the other day. Maybe. This floppy ear causes problems, hey? Look at him. just for the record, this is not necessarily this elephant's name. I've just been calling him Floppy Ear because he has a floppy ear. Oh, look how disruptive he is. Ooh. Sorry, I was saying that the amount of, is that an eland in the back as well? The amount of animals that are here suggests that this is one of the, I'm guessing, but it suggests it's one of the only close by water resources. Because zebra do not want to drink next to elephants and giraffes do not want to drink next to elephants. And it could be that these elephants don't particularly want to drink next to each other. But you've got to do what you've got to do. Ha, Mr. Floppy Ear. Spas, hello. Nothing better than some zebra and elephants at El Doño. Fabulous views we are getting of this El Doño pan here. Some kind of melon. Is Floppy Ear moonwalking? Possibly. Let's just watch for a bit, because once I'm definitely backed out of the picture there, hopefully these boys will be hanging around for a little while. But interesting that Floppy Ear is indeed in the mix. This feed is a little bit glitchy, so let's pop over to Nkoro, have a quick look. I think we've got a giraffe having a drink there, and maybe we will be able to come back to El Doño shortly. Ah, hello, drinking giraffe. Double flick. Oh, the zoomies. Well, good guess. Welcome to the photographer's world. See, from this angle, giraffes are actually massive. And those legs that we just had a beautiful pan shot up of, we've got a couple of giraffe in the estate I stay in that are very relaxed with cars. And if you drive past them, those giraffes would be way, the top of the legs were like some of the males I could easily walk underneath. These giraffe I obviously would not. But until you get really close to these animals, it's difficult to get a perspective on just how enormous they are. So put into perspective, yeah, those if this is a female, so she might be a little bit smaller. But I'm about 162 centimeters, or 5 foot, just under 5'5" in old money. And some of the males I could walk under those front legs. Oh, and as if by magic, have we been joined by? Oh no, we've been joined by a boy here as well. And it could actually be a nice comparison. Let me just check my workings. So this on the left is definitely a female. Look how skinny her horns are. I just want to get another look at this other one on the right. My gut said male, but but now I'm not so sure. My gut said male because it looks like that giraffe's looking at the camera actually. My gut said male because those horns are thicker and they looked slightly fur-free at first glance. But physically, the size difference wasn't massive, so I'm actually not going to call it until I've seen under this giraffe's belly. And I'm looking for that penis sheath, to be perfectly honest, because that is the best sexual identifier. Wildlife Lady, good afternoon. Lovely bull elephants and zebra Aldonia. Always a wonderful camera. Indeed, I agree, Wildlife Lady. And I'm see that one on the right does look bigger. See left, definitely female. Justice Bogatsu. I swear it was someone called Ignatius Bogatsu. Can a giraffe be dangerous to human beings? Absolutely. Very much so. There are very few. See, I think that's female. I think that giraffe is female. I was looking for that penis sheath, that bump under the belly. I couldn't see one. So, interesting demonstration that just because those horns are thicker and they might be missing hair on the top doesn't necessarily always mean it's a male. And if you look at that physical size structure, very similar in size. And again, another female coming in. Oh, a whole group of giraffes. So yeah, that was actually a really good demonstration of how just because those horns are thicker and they're bald on top doesn't always make it a male. Yes, sorry, Justice. They very much can be dangerous to humans. You need to be careful with all of the animals here, from impala, through monkeys, through mongoose. If you trapped a mongoose in a room, it's going to bite you. But very much giraffe can easily kill a lion with a kick. I give giraffe lots of space. If I do have to pass the giraffes in the estate I stay in, I give them as much space as I possibly can. 69. Are giraffes habituated to the vehicles? Yes. But you never know. Hey, we've actually got a female giraffe here at the moment. Well, we've got 3 baby giraffes with 3 different mums. And they can, as most animals, be quite protective. So, yes, animals can be habituated to vehicles. But I gauge mood every time. Sometimes I might be tolerant of someone clipping around the back of the head, and other times, depending on how my day has been, I will not be so, if you know what I mean. And this is, see that is male. You see the size difference there? That one in the middle, much bigger. There's that little bump under the tummy there. So that's his penis sheath. Much bigger, thick straight horns with that naked bit on top.
Join me, Andrew Wistenholm, for an indescribable 6-night stay in the beautiful Albany of the Eastern Cape at Amakhala Game Reserve. Now, this trip is going to be action-packed with a lot of storytelling, adventure, as well as the opportunity to make everlasting memories. We'll be exploring the best of Amakhala by staying at 2 luxury lodges, which will be the perfect blend of comfort as well as wilderness. Book your spot today and let's get ready to explore the wild beauty of Amakhala.
My full name is Mpho Muthusi Tikani. I grew up in Soweto. My first animal that I filmed said to dog. Okay, no, wait. My first animal that I filmed, I think it was an impala. Best sighting ever, I would say it was actually this year, 2024. But it was this Cedric when we had Muluwati and TP on a warthog kill. I think we have to cut it.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We'll be
And you pretend like you're a serviceman, eh?
Got no idea what's going on this reserve. Expecting the unexpected.
Are we stuck down there?
What am I trying to do?
So we have another giant of Mabula.
That was incredible.
This is unbelievable.
It's going to be a spectacular afternoon.
Out here, every moment counts. As a Wild Earth explorer, you won't miss a thing. Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7 and rewind if you want to catch something again. Enjoy behind-the-scenes videos, fireside chats, and early access to travel offers. It's the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
Computer enthusiasts, have you noticed how dark their tongues are? I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Mornay, you're asking how tall do giraffes get? Males up to about 5.5, 6 meters max. Females up to about 4.5 meters. So a little bit smaller. But a 6 meter giraffe is a big giraffe. Oh, apparently also have a slightly different hinge in their neck. I haven't revised this fact for quite a long time, so please don't. Well, you are welcome to correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe the males can hinge their head at a more open angle, so apparently almost up to 180 degrees. They can lift that head to reach even higher. Sorry, I'm doing it while I'm saying it. Even higher than the females, because it helps with obtaining resources. So they almost feed at different levels because they are such different sizes, and they have that extra opportunity to open that hinge, the males, between their head and their neck. They can reach even higher. We did for a moment there think that maybe those wildebeest may be available to those crocodiles. I can't. What's the biggest thing we've seen one of these crocodiles take at Tau? Help. I would love to know. I know we've seen them feeding on things. Thank you very much, FC. Apparently they have been... Did they... I think they were feeding on a wildebeest. Did we see them catch that wildebeest? That would be super interesting if we actually watched them grab and eat a wildebeest, opposed to feeding on one in the water. And I believe the cheetah cubs across at Hesk with Tammy are out and about. So I think let's go and have a look at those little cheetah cubs with Mum while they are nice and active, and see what they are practicing today. Crucial parts of development. I love the noises these cheetah make. Ooh. Come on, camera, hang in there. Look at that. White dusting along the back of that little cheetah. look, that little one is over there in a little patch of sun. So obviously these aren't mammals, so they are able to regulate their own body temperature, but they're still young, they're still small, and they still will use sun and shade to help keep them warmer or cooler as required. Sunset trails with moras. Hello. These are indeed beautiful animals, and we are very fortunate to be able to observe them all without in any way disturbing them. That is my favourite part. Everyone's having a good grooming session. Cats have a very rough tongue, all cats. It does help them to feed. They can, apparently, I've never tested it, but someone once told me that apparently a lion would lick the flesh off your arm. Very important for cleaning meat off of bones when they're feeding. And also for grooming. Cats known for keeping very, very clean, fastidious in their hygiene. A computer enthusiast, do these big cats eat birds? Yeah, they will. Caracals are known to be, caracals and servals are known to be exceptionally good bird hunters. It's lucky. Maybe a bird. But yeah, absolutely. If they can catch a bird, they'll definitely eat it. But it's stalking his little sibling there. Caracals and servals are known. They can jump high. I'm not even gonna. If you want to have a look, if you look at caracal or serval hunting birds. Extremely well-known bird hunters, and yeah, if these cheetah managed to get hold of a bird, they would definitely eat it. They'd probably pluck it. That little one nearly had a practice on Mum's tail. Ivan in North Carolina, excellent question. What factors might determine a subspecies? This is it's quite. There's probably people out there that could give you better answers. It's complicated, and it depends on the species, it depends on the area, it depends on the type of animal. But ultimately, as science is further progressing, we are able to check DNA sequencing, and some that are imperceptibly the same actually turn out to be a subspecies due to differences in their DNA. So yeah, taxonomy is complicated. To be honest, I try and avoid it if I can, because I am not a species scientist or DNA scientist, and taxonomy classifications move incredibly quickly. Kind of similar with the bird names. They will be grouped with one set of birds, and then they will be grouped with a different set of birds, and sometimes people will observe a different behaviour, but more often than not it's actual DNA that will split subspecies. I wonder if it might be potentially geographical as well. I'm just thinking of the northern white rhino and the southern white rhino. like to look at them. I wouldn't know the difference, but that north-south divide. So maybe it could be geographical as well, because things like birds, you get southern black corans and northern black. So maybe there is an element of geographical location as well. But great question, Ivan. See, the older these little cubbies get, the more interactions we'll be seeing from them with each other, with mum. Oh wow, Cornelia, thank you for this. The little one lying nearest Tammy is the one that was born 9 hours after the third one. And you had the privilege of seeing it happen. Yeah, that was amazing. I know she gave birth outside. All in fairly quick succession. So you're saying the one that is lying, well, the one that is not running around is actually the youngest by a bit. So that's interesting. That will be interesting to see how they develop. Mercedes Bean, great to see them trying to climb the tree. Yes, it's all good strengthening. It's all good practice. And while cheetahs aren't known for tree climbing, I have said before that I once sat with guests and said, no, cheetahs don't. Cheetah climbed a marula. And I actually got a picture of it to prove that it happened. But it's all good strength, balance, dexterity, body coordination, all absolutely vital for growth and development of these little ones. These little ones seem to be settling down a little bit. So let's head back across to, I think there's quite a few giraffe over there on coral. I would love to see what they're up to and do some more comparisons between these males and females. I know people have regularly, that is a word, got the sex of different animals wrong, sometimes when animals have been known to people for a long time. If there is not obvious bits and pieces, it can be an easy one to make a mistake on. These giraffe making best use of some of this foliage that's still green around here. Giraffe are known for, see, that's definite male and female. See that incredible difference in size there. It looks like he may be interested in this female, for want of a better phrase. Giraffe are known for when they feed, they will feed sort of into the wind. Plants will use chemical communications to almost warn each other of approaching danger, for want of a better word, and they will release chemicals into their leaves and make the leaves quite distasteful, so they will sometimes move along, browse, move along again. But yeah, I think this male is interested in this female giraffe here. Very exciting story. I actually had a friend visit. Am I going to tell this story? Yeah, why not? I had a friend visit me a while ago, and we were going into a game reserve, and we were driving nice and slowly along the fence, and we actually saw mating giraffes, but they weren't just sort of interested. He actually mounted the female, and they were very close to the fence, and it was a very close interaction we got with mating giraffes, which is the first time I have experienced that quite so up close. And see, is he? see, that looks like another. Oh, there's definitely some that look like a male and female that were necking there. But keep your eyes on this male. His head is sort of, it looks like the top of his head is behind that dead branch of that tree there. Yes, no, yes, no. They will test if the males are reproductively receptive. My giraffe ceased to move there for a quick moment, so I've just had to restart this giraffe, and they are very much moving again. This male is still very back here. Michelle from Tennessee, is it true that giraffe use their spots to identify each other? I don't know. I feel like it would be more based on like overall recognition. Like humans, would we use people's hair colour to identify each other? A bit. So maybe to some extent, but I think it would also be based on smell. Would they sort of, if they hadn't met another giraffe, when they looked at them, would they go, oh, this one's got 6 spots up its neck, and then the next time sort of remember those spot patterns? Maybe a bit. I'm totally honest. I'm not aware of any peer-reviewed papers that have, or how you would even test that. Like, how would we know if they were recognising each other from spot patterns or other overall features? I don't know, Michelle, that's a really good question. If anyone else has any science-backed thoughts on that question, I would love to hear them. I know apparently baby zebra recognise mum's stripes. Send your thoughts on, do giraffe recognise each other's spots to identify each other? Send your questions to wildearth.tv/questions. You're welcome to send your... That giraffe got there. Send your thoughts through on X using the hashtag WildEarth. I'm just trying to think how you would even test that. Oh, thank you. Send your comments on, do giraffe use their spots to identify each other on WhatsApp +27 786 302 336. I would love to hear what everyone else thinks on that. Apparently they were feeding on some bones earlier, so maybe that giraffe had a little bit of bone there, that well-known behaviour that we see in giraffes. That osteophagia, eating of bones, osteobone, phagia, eating of. I'm trying to think how you would even test that. How would you test? It's that, you know, there is some science-based tests that we can do to find out what animals are thinking. Ultimately, how do we really know? Mornay Stain, are giraffes territorial? No, they're not. They don't even form solid... this smells definitely giving this some thought. They don't even really form solid specific social groups. They form sort of loose groups. If there's food and water available, then you might find lots of giraffe in one place. They don't technically form herds. You'll find females with young ones, but no, they've got very loose social structures. So territorial is the defence of an area. So like lions, they will have almost perimeters of where their territories start and finish, and they will defend that area that belongs to them. Many animals have what we call home ranges. Normally tend to hang out in, but they will often share resources in that area if there's enough resources available. Rhinos are known for, they are territorial, but they will sometimes tolerate other rhinos in an area. That you may see 2 male rhinos, not necessarily together, but at a water resource.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
South Africa's wild places are closer than you think, because Federal Airlines brings them to you. From the calm of our Fed Air Lounge to the smooth boarding of our trusted fleet, We take care of the journey so you can enjoy the adventure. Our flights go beyond the ordinary, connecting you to South Africa's most remote and extraordinary locations. Federal Airlines, your gateway to the South African wild.
My full name is Tikani. Best part of my job is coming to see nature. Worst part of my job is logging. That's the worst thing ever, because you have to log amount of footage. You sit in front of that computer and yeah, you think of deleting the footage, but no, they need the footage. If I want a camel, probably a soccer player. I know some people don't believe me, but I'm very good, and I'm very fast.
This is what they call a shambi, a family, a whole herd of elephants.
But nature is beyond amazing. Nature is just everything.
We'd love to hear from you. Questions, comments about biology, Africa, safari. She's using her tail like a monkey.
Out here, every wild moment matters, and as a Wild Earth explorer, you won't miss a thing. Watch the Wild Earth channel, ad-free 24/7, where you can even rewind and watch something again. Get access to behind-the-scenes videos, fireside chats, and access to early travel offers. It is the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
We are just pondering how patient male giraffes and many other male species are when it comes to seeing if a female is receptive to copulation. Also, females for months, weeks, months. To see if they can, if those females are reproductively receptive, shall we say. Zilly with lots of numbers. I think I'm just going to call you Zilly. What's the temperature there now? It looks hot. Coral is about probably 2 hours from me, and it's a beautiful, delightful 24, 25 degrees here today. So I can't. Maybe Coral might be a couple of degrees warmer. I wouldn't have thought it's any hotter than 27 degrees there at Nkoro, so beautiful cool temp. Well, it's not cool. People in England are going, 27 degrees is not cool. It is for us. It definitely is for us. Lucy Cordy, why do giraffes like to feed on thorny trees? Because thorns are nutritious. Let me get it the right way round. Spines are stems. Spines are modified. I always get this the wrong way around. Short version, thorns and spines are modifications of leaves and stems, so basically they contain nutrition. They're not just hard husk things. They do have nutrition in them. I think that would be a lovely idea. Let's go over to Camelthorne and have a look at some elephants. I took great joy from watching a very large male elephant enjoying that inlet big time yesterday over at Camelthorne. So let's go have a look-see over there. Mafundu, hello. You think giraffes do use spots for identification, but not they purely rely on them. Yeah, I think I'm with you. The same as We can only guess, Mafundu. I'm trying to work out how you would even like science test that. Because ultimately, how do we... Oh no, now we're getting into the realms of me disappearing off into the depths of animal emotion and cognition, which I will be lost in for many, many hours. How do we even know, like, if a giraffe has recognised another one? They can't go, oh, yep, that's Dave. You know, if an animal looks at another animal, how do we know if they've recognised them? So I don't even know how we could test it. But all I would go on is human. You know, we look at someone we know, and we go, that's Charlotte over there, and we're basing it on everything: where Charlotte has come from, her hair colour, how she walks. So yeah, I think it would be bigger than spot patterns. But yeah, I will disappear on that for hours. Kaylee Sedebe, apologies if I've pronounced that wrong. How can we differentiate between a male and a female zebra? Short version, look at their genitalia, to be perfectly honest, is the best way I find. There are a few other things that you can use. Some people say the stallions have thicker necks, some people say the stallions have thicker stripes. Often if you see a zebra with a foal with them, it's often a female because it'll be her baby. But yeah, look at their genitalia, is my surefire way. And some people aren't quite as blunt. Wow, look at all those hippos. Some people aren't quite as blunt as me. Some people will say there's a thick black stripe under the tail of a female. That's her vagina, for want of a better word, and her vulva that runs down the back under that tail. And the male will not have such a thick stripe because all he will have under his tail is his anus. So that is how I do it. Is to look at reproductive organs is normally the best way, in my opinion. Give a blunt answer there, Kaylin. This is a bit of a standoff. Huh. See, there is so much communication going on here that we have no idea about. All body language, all body language. These elephants, you know, they can't say this one drinking, "Hi, how's it going? Give me another couple of minutes and I'll finish up here and you can take over." And the other one's going, "Oh, okay, no problem. I'll just wait here for now." They can't use words, and it all has to be done. They have to reach understandings or not reach understandings, depending on what the outcome may be. All on body language, and I absolutely love it. I love watching it and trying to even guess at what might be happening. All so sedate, so often. And the more I find the more I watch animals, the more easy it is to pick up nuances. Little things, it's like one of the things that I often discuss with dogs is you don't correct a growl. Don't smack a dog if it growls, because it's communicating with you. It's letting you know how it feels. And then, if you watch, you can pick up, changes in is their mouth tight? Are their ears tight? Are their eyes sort of squinty? Are their muscles tense? They don't want to have to escalate that communication, but we miss stuff. And the same as these elephants, there must be like a, if that tail swings slightly, harder left and a bit less right, I'm sure that means something to them, but we just can't see it. And I think as humans, we are losing the ability to read lots of, even in our own species, we're losing the ability to read lots of these nuances, because we use words. We rely on words, especially in days of technological communication. How many people have ever read a message or a text message, show my age, WhatsApp or whatever mode of communication you use, and taken it wrong because we couldn't see the nuance in it. It wasn't taken as it was intended, and it's one thing, if someone says, "Oh no, I'm absolutely fine," or "Yeah, no problem, that's fine," but we've got words and animals don't, and it all has to be down to, they can use vocalizations, but so tiny little behaviours and movements, like that one elephant has now moved off. Maybe this was this one that's just finished drinking now. I was like, no, I'm really thirsty, I'll be staying here for now. And the other one went, okay, no problem, I'll come back later. VZS 160, that's a university of hippo, not a school. That is a definite, I wouldn't even know what to start naming that as. That's a massive pile of hippos, I think would be the technical term. Mamdo Morad, how do giraffes usually recognise their parents? Smell, behaviour. The same as, I would assume, the same as children, maybe not so much smell, but adults that reach their hand out or open their arms or call them, there's a good chance when they're very, very small that that's their parent, but I would say mostly on smell and behaviour, to be honest. Davy Man McGee, hi, how are you doing today, my friend? 27 is terribly hot here. I think you're in England, as hot as it gets. Usually horrid humidity when it's that hot too. If you're in the UK, anyone that is in the UK, for reference, 30 degrees in England is hotter than 30 degrees in South Africa. It just is. I have sat in the sun in 30 degrees in both countries, and the sun is hotter. And I've come to the conclusion it's nothing to do with, there's more houses. I've sat in a field in both countries in 30 degrees sun, and I think it might be something to do with the air, maybe. This is again not science-based. If anyone can explain it to me, please do so. That maybe there's more pollution in the air in England, and that sun heat can't get back out or something. But yeah, 30 degrees in England is a lot hotter than 30 degrees in South Africa. I can confirm. We're going to leave this sleeping university of hippos, or massive lump, depending on your technical terminology. Let's go over to Stony Point, have a look across at Stony Point and see what is going on over there today. Mornay Stain, how can you tell how old an elephant is? See, this is another really good question. I shy away these days from telling how old things are and how the sexes of things unless I can see genitalia. I'll call. Hello, penguins. Hello, the little one's a big one now. Mornay, I will sometimes go on behaviour, how an elephant moves. You can tell when they're very young, they're almost still wobbly. There is a theory that if they are under 1, they can pass under a mum's stomach. If an elephant isn't suckling, you can sometimes guess they might be over 2. Size against, so if they're young, sort of size comparison to their mum, but then it could be genetic. A big mum might have a bigger baby, and then once they get and then as adult, I find it difficult. I will guess, but unless you see an animal being born, it can be quite difficult to guess. But if this is this baby penguin on the right, this is this has grown quickly. If anyone could give me an update, I think there were 2 chicks in here. Is this boat? This isn't both these babies, is it? Can anyone give me an update here? Melanistic marble. 30 degrees in UK is hotter than 30 degrees in South Africa. I promise you, it sounds mad, but I don't know why. But it definitely is. In South Africa, I will take my coat off, or take my fleece off in 20 degrees. And England, fleeces are off in 12 or 14 degrees. Yes, Stony Point. I haven't seen this camera for a long time, so I would love if anyone could give me any heads up on what's been going on here. I've missed a lot, I feel. Catherine, I'm glad you agree. I don't know what it is. However, New Zealand, I burnt in 16 degrees in New Zealand. I think that's probably got something to do with atmosphere, but yeah, it does indeed vary. So any avid Stony Point followers, I haven't been here for a while at Stony Point. If I could get an update, please send them through. I would love to know what's been happening here at Stony Point with these little chickies. I think they had fairly recently hatched. They'd probably hatched about a week. They were probably about a week old last time I had an update on them.
Katika mwanga wa mwezi kivuli hutembea, mrembo mweusi anayepotea, macho yake ni taa, gizani huwaka, fuvu la msitu, malkia anayejificha.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
Safari, wine, and waterfalls. The ultimate African adventure. Sip South Africa's finest wines. Experience a world-class safari among Africa's iconic wildlife. And stand in front of Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. All this can be yours with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Okay, some in full juvenile plumage. Okay, that's what I meant by the feet. That's slightly darker plumage, 65 days. And fledging is based on weight. Huh. Rather than days. Interesting. That makes complete sense though. And goes to show that makes complete sense. That's very sensible that fledging or leaving the nest would be based on weight rather than time, because if food had been scarce or weather had been cold, or if they'd lost a parent and not had as much food, it would be foolish for them to fledge if they weren't big enough to survive. So yeah, down has gone. They're in there. This is indeed their juvenile plumage. You are completely correct. I meant sort of before adult plumage. So yeah, I would probably place both of these as these chicks then. I can't. When did they hatch? Can anyone remind me exactly when they hatched? Yeah, there's still a little bit of fluff, Lyra. I agree. There's a little bit of fluff. But this is more, I didn't get that sort of fluffy chick down. They go through a down molt and then juvenile plumage, and then they will break into their adult plumage. So this is juvenile plumage. Those fun times of trying to identify juvenile birds. Spas, you're asking for penguin chicks to leave the nest already. I just read on this, I'm not going to lie, I am checking my app here. They could remain until 130 days, but more en masse, over 2 kilograms. So yeah, it's gonna depend on, it could be, so how long is 130 days? 4 months, 5 months? And again, I would say if it has been raining here for a long time, it's going to be cold. I wouldn't want to fledge if it was pouring with rain either. Mamdou Morad, they sometimes get out and hide behind the plants to the left. Okay. These are clever chicks. If it's been pouring with rain, I would also be hiding behind the plants still, I think. There's not actually vast amounts of room left in there, is there? Do look a bit chilly. Has anyone seen either of these chicks sleeping with their beaks tucked under their wings? If it's been raining there for days, it must be quite cool. I still find it a bit confusing that Cape Town gets rain in the winter when this side We do not. I actually just looked at the weather and it's forecast to be nice, stable, clear for the Stony Sonny. It's in Cape Town, or very close to Cape Town, Stony Point. So this is very much indeed in South Africa. And Mornay, these are African penguins here at Cape Town. Surprisingly though, I've just actually had a look. There are 8 species of penguin in my bird app. I'm not sure. I know this is probably considered the most common, African penguin. Let's see the distribution of some of these others. Okay. That's more up in off the coast of Namibia. So this bird app does cover southern Africa. So these are African penguins. Also listed are gentoo penguins, king penguins. I think they're a bit of an anomaly. Oh no, they're all found around the coast. Little penguins, macaroni penguins, Magellanic penguins, northern rockhopper penguins, and southern rockhopper penguins. We were talking earlier about what makes a subspecies. So the northern and the southern rockhopper penguins are both found all around the coast of South Africa. Oh, let's go over to Aldonio. One ton is back. I would love to see what is going on with the dynamics there at Aldonio. So yeah, northern rockhopper and southern rockhopper penguins both found in exactly the same place, which could be confusing. Let's see what's going on here. Ooh. Where is floppy ear? Yeah, all of these are big bulls, hey. Even that one, look, the other one facing us. They're good tusks there. One time. Right in front of. It's just out of view. I'm kind of happy that the zebras have moved off a bit. That does make me a little bit nervous when all those zebra are trying to push their way into and around these elephants. You know, we've seen incidents happen here before. We are struggling a little bit on the camera here at Aldonio. Maybe it's the sheer weight of having this many elephants around, because this is tons and tons and tons of elephant, literally. Seems to have calmed down a little bit again here. Maybe it is the sheer The sheer volume of elephants here. I mean, this is... I'm not even going to try and add up the weight of elephants here, but it's substantial. It all seems to be very peaceful again here, but this is insane seeing this many bulls this close together. It seems to be a regular occurrence. But let's scoot over to Simbavati, have a look at what's happening that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is like 9 or 10 massive elephant bulls. All in the same area. We will keep an eye on this camera and see if there are any big kerfuffles, for want of a better word, between all these giants. But what seems to be peaceful old one ton seems to be keeping them under control.
Now this leopard that we're looking at is known by the name of Hlalamba.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
My name is Takudzwa Panda Msesani. My scariest moment is when it happened twice. The other time I was with Cedric and the other time I was with Steve. And all those times, it was a black mamba. My favorite meal in camp is gonna be burger and chips.
Hyenas love bathing.
If you love watching Wild Earth, here's a little tip. Become a member. You can gain access to the channel ad-free, you can rewind and re-watch sightings, and you can join our Tuesday live safaris. There's also behind the scenes videos, fireside chats, and every Safari Live episode, whenever you want it. It's just a better way to stay connected to nature.
Lady Mel Bethand. Hi, thank you for joining the conversation. How does a vagrant arrive? I'm assuming you mean birds. That's normally the term we would use for a rare vagrant, is normally the term, a birding term. What have these elephants seen? It depends. As far as I'm aware, they just end up off course. Often migratory routes are disrupted. Maybe there's a storm, sometimes in weather could blow a vagrant off course. But yeah, the rare vagrant is normally used to determine finding birds that you would not expect to find in a specific area. That's when you get all the, I mean, I really enjoy birding. I will happily go birding for days, but I'm not what I would consider to be, and this is in no way meant as an offensive term, a proper hardcore twitcher. I don't think I've ever, oh no, maybe I have. I've certainly never taken a plane to go and look for a specific bird. I've gone to a sort of certain area when someone has seen an exciting bird present, but it was a few days later, and we just went there to see if it was still around. But I know there are lots of hugely dedicated people that if a rare vagrant is sighted somewhere, they grab their binoculars and gigantic camera lens and off they go to find said rare vagrant. I'm not quite there, but I know many people are, and I have a lot of respect for them. If we do have any real twitchers watching today, I would love to hear how far you have travelled to look for a rare vagrant. I would love it if someone can flew to the other side of the world to find a specific bird. Please let me know if you have, because I have utmost respect for you. Yes, wildlife lady, these two elephants also having lots of communication going on here. Beautiful interactions. Billy Judd, are elephants immune to snake venom? No. They aren't massive though. And again, it would depend on the snake, it would depend on the size of an elephant. But no, they are not. No, they're not. See, your questions make me doubt myself. But it could be that if an elephant, you know, if a small animal is bitten by a snake, it is more likely to succumb to envenomation than if it's a massive animal, because they have more body mass to process that venom. And off they went on their way. See these birds coming down to drink. They have just been, could be that they're picking up little insects that have been disturbed by the elephants drinking, either on the mud or at the water's edge there. Little blacksmith lapwing at the water's edge, so often associated with being found around water. Let's go back over to Old Johnio. I was but staggered by the number of big elephant balls there. Let's see if we can spend a bit of time. I would love to try and work out. Oh, it must be that there's no other good water locally. Because we know that this is not standard. I mean, it happens. I think I said maybe 15 big balls up in the Northern Kruger. Look, that's Floppy again. So the one on the far left there, he's the one with the floppy ear that had that intense interaction with One Ton earlier in the week. Oh, I almost forgot. I did go and further check terrapin identifications, and to be perfectly honest, I'm none the wiser. Spent about 25 minutes trying to establish the pan hinged terrapin between a serrated hinged terrapin and I didn't really get anywhere. I know serrated hinged terrapins are more common than pan hinged, but one had a slightly smoother shell than the other. I couldn't find any mention anywhere of those little dangly things under their chins. So I tried, but I'm none the wiser, I'm afraid. Catherine, you'll be hiking up a mountain tomorrow to see bearded vultures and golden eagles. Does that count as travelling far? Yeah, I'll take that. Absolutely, that is going to a specific location to look for specific birds. Or are you going up the mountain because you want to go up the mountain and you may see the birds up there? I think that's the difference. If you're going for a hike and there'll be birds there, that's one thing. But if you're hiking up a mountain to see the bird, I think that's probably twitching. Oh, Davy Man McGee. Davy Man McGee. I tried to find out more about those pan terrapins yesterday and I didn't really get far. I spent around in subspecies of terrapins and then didn't really reach a conclusion for you, I'm afraid. Okay, you've got a big twitch though. Ooh, 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 what's going on? I'm surprised these guys aren't falling out more, this much elephant in one place. Biggest twitch, Davy Man McGee, in the 90s was to see American double-crested cormorant in Galway off the west coast of Ireland from Blackpool. Okay, 2 overnight ferries. That's a lot of respect. You're a twitcher. 100% you're a twitcher. If we've got anyone that's better than you, I'll be all ears. But yeah, 2 overnight ferries, that's hardcore. Proper twitcher there, David Man McGee. Penelope Kenyon, terrapin homework. Thank you for handing your terrapin homework in. 2 barbels or 2 tentacles under the chins are highly sensitive sensory organs thought to aid in detecting motion food in murky water. That, I 100% totally agree with that. I was trying to work out if the pan hinged terrapin and the serrated hinged terrapin both had them. And I didn't really get anywhere with it, if I'm honest. But brilliant homework, good skills. Oh, there's some zebra outside my window. That's quite cool. Thank you very much, Penelope Kenyon. 5 stars for your homework. Excellent. David Atwood. Hi Kelly, the elephants are such amazing looking creatures. You think really elephants are the king of the plains, even though lions are very courageous. David, I completely concur. Lions are great, but they're no match. These animals are king of the world. There is nothing that would successfully front down an elephant anyway, if the elephant decided otherwise. Look at this. So with big tusks. See that fluid on his temporal glands there? It does happen when they're in must. but it's also a sign of heightened. It can happen in females and youngsters. I read it, the way I've learned it is a heightened sense of emotion. It could be fear, it could be excitement, it could be stress. I spent hours trying to work out, I think it's some sort of fatty protein or something, but I've never quite managed to find out exactly what that fluid is. I know it comes from the temporal glands. But the way I've always understood it is it's a heightened state of emotion. But I'm just trying to see if this elephant here is in must. I can't imagine he'd be so chilled if he was with all these boys. I'm looking for signs of urine on his back legs. So maybe all these appearing.
Join me, Danielle Carstens, in Mashatu, Botswana's land of giants. With over 1,000 elephants, leopards in nyala berry trees, and exclusive access to photographic hides, this is a wildlife photographer's paradise. I'll be there photo guiding you throughout, providing hands-on training and tips. Let's capture striking images together in one of Africa's most rewarding reserves. I would love for you to join me.
My name is Takudzwa Panda Msesani. I really want to film an artwork, and it has been my goal. I'll be just keeping my eyes open. The worst driver is James. He's driving, yeah. You gotta be holding on back in there, yeah? Like in bumps, and I mean, it happens when these things happens when you're actually going for animals usually. But then, yeah, he's driving, yeah. You gotta put your seatbelt.
Step into the heart of Africa from the comfort of your home.
Female leopard tracks over here.
Join our expert guides for a live 3-hour safari where every moment is real, unscripted, and unforgettable. Ask questions.
Animals rely on their senses.
Share your thoughts and be part of the experience as we explore together. Safari Live.
Oh yeah, that's Dave. Wait, I don't know how he would test it. I think that's an excellent idea. I think we should definitely go over to King's Camp and have another look at those terrapins. I'm going to be very interested to see if we still have the same terrapin arrangement as we did have yesterday. Oh, hello. There we go. There we go. Look. There's them little dangly things I was talking about. Barbels, Penelope Kenyon, you see. Now we know what they're for. That looks like... And oh, how can that terrapin sit with those flies on it? That would drive me mad. That doesn't even care. David Mayer McGee, I saw the website that discussed pan-hinged terrapins yesterday. To be perfectly honest, I'd never heard of a pan-hinged terrapin. They are we would normally say that our local terrapins in areas of operation are marsh or hinged. And there's those 5 subspecies of that hinged, one of which is a pan, one of which is a serrated. And I would normally have just said that they were serrated. I would call them serrated hinged terrapins. I wasn't totally convinced that those pan hinged terrapins were found in this area, but I could be wrong. There was talk of KZN around the pan hinged, and pan hinged are much smaller. I did learn that much. Shemp, why is it just bulls at Old Donio and never females or young? Excellent question. If I was a female elephant with a baby, I would not want to be going anywhere near that waterhole with all those testosterone pumped males around. I'm just trying to think if I'm sure there must have been females there at some point, but I would avoid that area if I was a female with a calf, because a single male elephant can be bothersome enough to females and potentially dangerous to little ones. If there was a jostle or something, they won't, as far as I'm aware, sort of kill baby elephants. But if there's a, if there's a year-old or 6-month-old baby elephant and one of those boys jostles, it's a big problem. This is a beautiful image of this terrapin. I actually spoke to someone else this morning about terrapin taxonomy, and their understanding was about the same as mine, if I'm honest. But that nose looks really flat now. Hold on, let me swap the books over again. Oh, where you go? I don't think marsh terrapins have those barbels. Penelope Kenyon. Oh, pan hinged and serrated both have those tentacles. Okay, yes, I think I got as far as potentially working that out. But I did dig around in the internet. I've tried a couple of books. I'm going to go back to my... See, even the marsh, I think marsh terrapins, I think they've got, is it them that have got the... Oh, I can't remember, let me check. 361. I know one has a flatter. Okay, hinged terrapins have a more domed profile than the marsh terrapins. Marsh terrapins have got much flatter. Marsh terrapins have very well developed eyes with rounded pupils. See, that to me looks like well developed eyes with rounded pupils. But they have really piggy little faces. Marsh terrapins, that's how I learnt them once. They look like little flat nosed little piggy terrapins. This looks more elongated, so I'm pretty sure these are hinged. They've got more domed shells, but I can't find... I haven't found a picture of a pan terrapin with barbels. I'm not saying they don't have them. So all of these hinged terrapins are Pelusios, and then you've got the subspecies Rodensianos. Oh, I'm not going to try and read all those out. That's a brilliant image though of this terrapin. And look at his little barbels. So, hinged terrapins are more restricted than marsh terrapins in their range. All species are limited primarily to the northern and northeast parts. 4 occur extensively to the north of southern Africa. Okay, so Okavango is only restricted to the swamps and Zambezi River. I'm sure this is this big one that was trying to get on this log yesterday. Jane Ludlow, hello. I'm glad you've listened to the whole of today's programme. And yes, we are always all learning new things. That is the joy of it. And you're in, I can never say where you are, Riki. Excuse my horrific pronunciation. That is a beautiful area of the Lowveld. Absolutely stunning location. I've never actually visited that area, but thank you very much for listening to the show. Wildlife lady, lovely big terrapin is back. Nice to see these guys. I'm still flailing around in the identification of the identification of these terrapins.
This is an unbelievable afternoon.
Full name is Maxine Gaines. Most people that know me really well call me Max. I'm a mum. I have 2 boys. One is 16 years old and one is 14 years old. I'm a very, very proud mama of my 2 boys. I've just always been passionate about leopards. I'm passionate about their conservation. I'm just passionate about everything to do with leopards. I love them.
David Mamet, I still can't believe you took 2 overnight ferries to to go look for a bird. I'm deeply impressed. Yes, Penelope Kenyon. Concurring with my serrated is a lot bigger. Thank you very much for your support, Penelope Kenyon, in this matter. And yes, female serrated are bigger than the male serrated. as is often the case in many, well, not many, birds of prey, often, who else? Snakes, I think possibly lizards, don't quote me on it. Females are bigger. Are you going to come out? See, those feet look desperately disproportionate on land, don't they? But so important for that almost underwater flight. You going to come out? Ooh. Ooh. Hello. No, thank you. I'm not coming out there. It's too cold. I know the feeling, little penguin. Really interesting. I've actually learned this about penguins here. I didn't realise, but it makes complete sense. So when we often hear people often ask, you know, when does something wean? When do they start eating meat? When do they start eating grass? Kind of. Oh no, it's not the same as fledging, but it's based on size. So if a baby animal has lots of rich nutrition in their early years and reaches a certain size quickly, then they are more likely to stop suckling or whatever it is, or needing mum more because they're bigger. And that makes complete sense that penguin fledging, I suppose it's probably maybe a little bit more prevalent for penguins because they do need to go into the water, which is cold, so they need a good body mass to maintain temperature. But that's kind of how things work, you know, when there's a general rule, the eyes open, and things like that. But if they've got good nutrition, good conditions, then all of these things are going to happen sooner than if conditions are poor. Penelope Kenyon, what a team. Please return tomorrow and we can all continue learning together. David Mayer McGee, thank you for your help as well. Everyone that has been a part of the show today. Like I always say, I am by no means the oracle of any of this stuff. We all learn, we all grow. Science moves faster than any of us can keep up with. So yeah, it's more about, for me, this time, this couple of hours, is more about teamwork than learning together, than me telling you stuff. And I really do enjoy all the questions that come through. There's many aspects that I haven't considered before, and it really makes it for me. Time has gone quickly today, Penelope. Hopefully you can join us again tomorrow. Wildlife lady, these two penguins have sure grown. I haven't seen these penguins, these baby penguin chicks, for a long time, and they've grown quickly, but they have to grow quickly. It's cold there at the moment. They have to grow quickly to survive. This 2 hours has flown by, Wildlife lady. I'm glad you've enjoyed it today. It's an absolute pleasure. And I also say thank you to all at FC and all of the Zoomies who do a brilliant job. I particularly enjoyed the pan down, up, down to the giraffe drinking today. That was beautiful. Well done. Spas, nice indeed to end with the penguins. I'm glad you enjoyed the show, and I'm glad you're enjoying watching them grow, as we all are. That was so funny how that little one sort of went, I'm gonna go. Oh no, I'm not. Maybe I'll leave it. And of course, remember, these young animals, well, all animals, it's about preserving themselves. And these chicks and their parents will have spent lots of time and lots of effort and lots of energy on getting these chicks up to a fledgeable weight. I don't know if that's the word. And to go outside when it's cold and shivery, they will have to burn energy to keep warm. And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make natural selection sense to burn unnecessary energy. Animals do what they do because of how they feel, either physically or emotionally. It's as simple as that. They do what works for them. Doesn't make me wonder, do animals have it right and we've got it wrong? Put on our trainers and our gloves and our hats to go for a jog outside when it's freezing cold. Maybe animals have got it right after all. I'm glad you enjoyed the show today, Spas. We've only got a couple of minutes left. David McGee, thank you, Kelly and Chatters. You've learnt so much since the end of April. Might see you on the odd rainy day in the next few months. It's been a blast. I do hope you return, David McGee. I have a renewed respect for you for taking overnight ferries to go and look at a bird. That's proper. If anyone hasn't seen, I think it's called The Big Year, movie with maybe Adam Sandler about birding. That's proper birding. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Wherever you may be in the world, the pleasure has been all mine. Lovely to see these little penguins almost out and about. Thank you all for being a massive part of the show. Thank you for sending your questions and comments through. I will be back, same time, same place tomorrow. I do hope that you can all join us. We will see what these fabulous cameras have to offer. A university of hippos, a gigantic ton of male elephants, some basking crocodiles. Hopefully they will all be back tomorrow, as will you, and as will I. Take care.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight, a journey to South Africa's wildlife wonders. Join us on an exciting virtual safari to relax, learn, and be inspired. Discover stunning landscapes, come to know our iconic animal stars, and witness profound moments in conservation. If you'd like to plan a safari adventure to these magnificent wildlife places, then visit Wild Earth Travel, where safari comes alive.